Dude, have you ever read about the Great Infanticide? No. What is that? It was like 200 years ago when like all the people were like murdering their babies. Seriously? Yeah. Why? I guess it was like mostly because they just didn't want to take care of the babies, so they killed it instead. Dude, how was that even legal? I guess they just pretended that the baby wasn't a baby, and that's how they did it. Dude, that doesn't even make sense. Well, apparently, like, back before the Second Revolution, like, you know, whenever the government got so tyrannical because they were trying to, like, ban guns across the entire country, and then we had a second Revolutionary War, that kind of thing. Well, apparently, before that happened, the government was really, like, anti-black people, and they were, like, trying to reduce the population of black people, so they were convincing these women to kill their babies, and, like, most of them were black. So wait, the Great Infanticide started as an attempted genocide? It wasn't really attempted. It was like 80% of all of the babies killed were black babies that were killed by their own parents. And what makes that even worse is that like between like 1980 and like 2030, there were like 100 million babies that were murdered in the United States alone. There's no way. Like, I know the government was super tyrannical. They tried to disarm the population again in order to hurt them, but there's just no way that they were able to convince people. Like there's no way that they were stupid enough to think that they could kill their own babies and somehow they weren't even killing their babies. There's just no way people were that dumb. Isn't that terrifying? They tried to like twist it and they like refer to it as healthcare, and then they tried to like entangle it with like the third wave feminism, where they like, you know, at the time whenever all the women got so aggressive that they started to actually create the artificially intelligent robotic companions, because that the men at the time, they just stopped wanting to deal with the women, and a lot of the reason for that apparently is because they just kept killing their babies and men didn't want to risk getting them pregnant anymore. What? Dude, there's no way. Dude, now you're making stuff up. There is no way that any woman would actually do that to their baby. Well, they literally tried to like pretend like this was a good and like virtuous thing to kill your baby. And a lot of women got behind it, and even a lot of men were like convincing their girlfriends and wives to kill the baby. So it was like, it wasn't just the women, it was like everyone was killing their kids. I don't know. Where are you getting this information? Because this doesn't sound real. This sounds like something that's made up. This sounds like propaganda. Dude, I swear, all of this is real. Like, all of this actually happened. I just can't imagine, like, if you were living in that time and you didn't say anything, if you didn't fight against it at all, you just kind of sat by and watched hundreds of millions of babies get killed. And they tried to pretend that it wasn't a person because it was still a baby. I cannot imagine being one of those people back then who thought that was okay. I can't imagine that anyone ever thought that was okay. People have just always been evil. And there's just this consistent prevalency of people being on the wrong side of history and pretending that their side is virtuous because they're trying to fight for something that's not actually a good thing. They're pretending it's good and then fighting for it. Like murdering your babies and calling it healthcare.